Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a live first reaction / grading of all of these new champions that are coming to Raid. I'm going to go over them live and let you know what I think as I go, so let's get into it. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get this forum post pulled up. I will link to it down below. If you want to read along or if you want to look at it yourself, I will link to this post on the Plarium forums about all these new champions down below, so you can pull it up if you would like. So let me go ahead and put this on the screen, and let's go through this together. Okay, so we've got Update Highlights 3.20. A new raid update is coming in hot, and we are here to give you early insight with update highlights. So you can expect awesome new champions, a permanent extension to daily login rewards, and some quality of life improvements. That was like the artifact and champion storage space that I talked about yesterday. So we've gone over most of the stuff coming in 3.20, just not these new champions. So this is going to be exciting. This is one of my favorite things to do, is to see new champions and what Plarium is thinking in terms of their design, and then let you guys know how I think in terms of grading them, in terms of their kit and how good I think they're going to be. Okay, so we've got a new legendary for the orcs, King Garog. Now the A1, attack one enemy 2 times, 30 stun on an A1. I bet you can book that up to like 50%. Oh wait, on the right we get the books. I've been clamoring for this since day one. If you guys watch my videos, I say this in every video like this. I say it's really hard to give you a fully accurate prediction as to how good I think they're going to be when I can't see how the books affect the cooldowns and the buff debuff chances and all that. I always have to sit here and try to predict it. Oh my goodness, now we're getting it. Yes. Okay. This is so much better. Like I said, I'm giving you a live first reaction to this forum post. All I did was pull it up and get ready to record and go. So awesome. We can see what the books are going to do on the right. That is amazing. But I was wrong. You can't book it up to 50%. All right, so the chance increases. Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, I was wrong, then I'm right again. Okay, the chance increases to 50% if the target's turn meter is equal to or below 50%. Okay, cool. Attack one enemy 4 times. Each critical hit has a 50% chance of decreasing the cooldown of Gore Maker, which is the A3 here. Attack all enemies will ignore 20% of the target's defense. Will ignore a further 5% defense for each buff on the target. So that could hit pretty hard there. Ignoring defense is a big deal as you get higher in the game and more late game. So, and then that's a good rotation. When you've got an A1 and 2 abilities on a 3-turn cooldown, that character has a nice rotation of its abilities. So yeah, the kit looks to be fun here. We've got the passive. Increase this champion's speed by 6 and crit damage by 7 for each enemy this champion kills in a round. Okay, so a little bit of a snowball factor there. Stacks up to 30 speed and 30 crit damage. Will reset if this champion is killed. Whenever a champion is revived, fill the champion's turn meter by 30% for each revived enemy. Then place 50% increased attack and 30% increased damage buff on this champion for 1 turn. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd give this like an A-. Looks like a pretty decent legendary. Maybe not like the godliest of godly, but yeah, looks like a fun one to have. Then we've got Roxum, the legendary attack lizardman. Okay, we've got a lot going on here. 1 enemy, 50% chance, placing this champion's turn meter by 10%. Also, plays a perfect veil on this champion if critical. The 4 books there. Okay. All right. Yeah. Some self-veiling there on the A1. Then the A2 attacks 1 enemy. So okay, more turn meter fill. 75% chance placing a stun. You can book it to 100% on the right. On the target for 1 turn when attacking under a veil or perfect veil. Yeah. Okay. 75% chance placing a stun debuff on the target for 1 turn. When attacking without veil or perfect veil. What? Is it literally the same thing? What? It's the same thing. 75% chance of placing a stun when attacking while under veil. 75% chance to place a stun when attacking without veil or perfect veil. So why would you need to clarify that? Unless I'm missing something, but okay. Places a perfect veil on the champion for 2 turns after attacking without veil or perfect veil. Okay, so that's a little bit interesting to me, but all right. Maybe I'm missing something, but that sounds weird. Why they would word it like both times. While under a veil or perfect veil buff, attacks all enemies. 75% chance you can book that up to 100 of breaking defense and placing weaken. Woo! And then decrease the cooldown of jungle ambush by 2 turns. Okay, so if you've got this guy under a veil and he can kind of self-veil himself here, he's got a 60% chance on the A1. That's really, really good. You book this up to a 4-turn cooldown, AoE damage that has a 100% chance of placing decreased defense and weaken. He's magic affinity, so it can hit weak on force affinity champions, but okay. And then while not under a veil or perfect veil, so if he's just normal, he'll attack one enemy and place the defense break and the weaken, and then place a veil on himself for 2 turns after attacking. So, wow, okay. Pretty cool ability there. The AoE big version of defense break and weaken is pretty good. Place block debuffs and a 25% strength buff on this champion for 1 turn. A 15% continuous heal buff for 2 turns whenever they... Wow, okay. So yeah, that's pretty strong. So it'll synergize with the veil part of it. Crit rate and Doom Tower by 23%. Yeah, again, geez. This has got to be like an A. Pretty solid. He self-synergizes with his own kit. And the AoE debuffing there, crucial debuffs. Someone like a Dracomorph does that without attacking enemies, which in some situations is better because you don't weak hit red opponents if you're just looking for the debuffs. But that's going to do it without or with the attack. But it is a 4-turn cooldown. Draco's is a 3-turn when booked. So yeah, still pretty darn good. Then Iron Brago. I have got a video that I will link up there where I do a full champion review of the fragment event Iron Brago, which some people were saying is kind of a throwback to Rocky 4 when it's like USA versus Russia and Rocky versus Ivan Drago, I think it was. So this is kind of some people were saying this is kind of a play on that name. But anyway, yeah, I've got a full video that I linked up there if you want to check out that. And just like the Too Long Didn't Watch version, I gave this guy like an A-. I had a few hundred people on stream, and I asked them to grade this champion, and the community sentiment was a B+. So I gave him an A-. The community, or at least like the 300 people in my stream, graded him the average score as a B+, if you're curious on that. So then we've got Melga Steel Glide. Okay, so on the epics and stuff, I'm going to try to go a little bit quicker because I don't want this video to be an hour long. I want to try to get through as fast as I can for you. So the legendaries I wanted to spend some time on because those are the most important, obviously. But if I see something, I'm going to try to go quick. But if I see something that's like crazy, I'll try to stop and take my time and explain why. All right, remove random debuff from an ally. It's a single ally, and it's shield buff on all allies, 20% of this champion's max. Shield buff on a 3-turn cooldown of this champion's max HP. That's good. Also, on heal on all allies for 2 turns. That's good. I like this. On a 3-turn cooldown, that's good. Wait, a Dwarf Reviver. Okay, we got to spend some time on this. Dwarf Faction Wars is extremely difficult. It's basically unanimously thought of as one of the 3 hardest, no matter who you ask. Everybody's mostly in agreement that it's one of the 3 hardest faction crypts to go after. I believe you're going after against the red boss. The red boss has that ability that ignores all defense, so it's hard to keep things alive. This champion is based on HP, which is great for that boss, and then also as a reviver. So what happens in the Dwarf Faction Wars is people are always like hoping for a Maui or trying to cheese it in some way if they don't have a Maui, doing like double rear guard or rock breaker strats and just trying to get around completing that boss. This looks like it's going to be a help out there, a non-legendary option that players can look into acquiring and help them out here. Just by my first glance, that's great. Dwarves needed a non-legendary reviver, especially given how the faction crypt is set up. But okay, the basic is revive 2 random allies with 20% HP and a 20% turn meter, and it's also 2 allies. It is a booked 5-turn cooldown. Ascended, revive 2 random allies with 20% turn meter. Also place a shield buff for 2 turns, equal to 30%. Okay, great. We needed a reviver, and then they get more HP. It's an HP aura, similar to the ones that the starting champions have, like Kayle and Aethel, Galek, and Elaine. They increase ally HP in all battles by 15%. So, yeah, this was definitely needed. Awesome. Maybe a different affinity, since we've already got Molly as a Spirit Affinity reviver in the dwarves. Maybe I would have gone, and this is honestly a pretty good kit. You could have almost made her Void, made her a Void epic here. I think it would have been a crucial enough champion to make a Void epic, but this makes it even more accessible probably, because you can get it out of Ancient Shards, so I'm okay with that. I would have maybe gone Magic or Force Affinity, but that's just nitpicking. Definitely, this fills a crucial role missing in the game right now, so A+ on that. And then we've got Chancellor Yasmin. Hey, this is nice and condensed. This is an easy one to review here. Okay, so one enemy, extra hit. That's pretty bad for an A1. Heals all ally, 40% of their max HP. That's pretty good. Heals 60%. That's pretty solid. Wow, you could book that to a 2-turn cooldown. That's pretty good. Yeah. So like a 40 or 60% heal on a 2-turn cooldown. So kind of similar to an apothecary, with the 2-turn like crit heals that he does. Okay. Then 50% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies. So AoE buff strip that you can book to a 75% chance on a 4-turn cooldown. All buffs from all enemies. Oh, so this is similar to Kymar, like AoE buff strip and place asleep, who have active buffs. So you're guaranteed a little bit of value. If they still have buffs after this ability, she'll place asleep, and if not, she'll remove all buffs from them. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, we need a few more non-legendary options in terms of buff removal. That's what makes Madame Ceres so amazing, is she fills a role that has a very high scarcity. So because there's just not a whole lot of like AoE buff strip options available that are non-legendary. That's what makes Ceres so amazing. So this will help kind of slot into there a little bit. And obviously not as good as Ceres, but yeah, pretty decent. I'd give that like a B, with the crit heals and the AoE buff strip with some CC. All right, then we've got Vagath. Okay, a lot going on here, so I'm gonna try to cruise through this. It wanted me 3 times. Increasing the duration. Oh, that's pretty cool. We've got some clan boss potential here, maybe, or boss fight potential. Undead. AoE, 3-turn cooldown. Pretty big chance of placing an AoE provoke. Can also decrease attack for 2 turns. Okay, not bad. Whenever this champion's attack, heal all allies by. Ooh. Okay, only heals by 25% of the damage received from boss attacks. Okay, this champion only receives half. This champion only receives half of the heal that other allies receive. Oh, okay. So not going to quite sustain themselves as much as they sustain the team, but this champion scales with HP, so probably has a base HP that's decently high, like 19 or 20k, so hopefully you can scale that up. When attacked, places a leech debuff on the... Ooh. So lots of sustain, lots of heals. Attacker under if also increasing the cooldown of a random skill. Okay, so that's yeah, this has some potential. Again, I'd give this like a B+. This looks like a fun little CC healer that can increase the duration of debuffs. Yeah, this could be like even up to into an A- or so. Looks like a fun little sustain champion option, non-legendary option here for maybe some Doom Tower teams, or even like a clan boss. I mean, placing leech, and this A2 is never gonna proc because you can't provoke the clan boss. But yeah, in terms of increasing debuff duration and then cranking out some heals, placing a leech, a decent option in some different situations in the game. I like it. Armina, let's go. A1 stun. Okay. AoE, placing decreased defense, steals 7 point under. Okay, cool. On a 3-turn cooldown, AoE defense break with potential to steal some turn meter. I like that. So this will be so the barbarians, a different affinity than War Maiden. War Maiden is like the Force affinity AoE defense break. Now we've got a magic affinity AoE defense break for the barbarians. Then we've got decreased turn meter of all enemies at 20% and a 75% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn who have their turn meters fully depleted. Okay. So it does only lower it by 20%. So it's going to be tough to get value out of that stun, but hey, okay. For the champion's turn meter by 10% each time an enemy receives a stun buff. Okay, cool. So yeah, solid. It's another AoE defense break. Different affinity capability here for the barbarians. It should be a pretty decent damage dealer with lots of utility there. I'd give that like a B+. AoE defense break is always a role needed in the game for different teams you're building. All right, so Ursula the Mourner, Banner Lords. Interesting look for a Banner Lords champion. That looks more like a Knight Revenant or something, but okay. I can dig it. We've got attack one enemy, 40% chance of decreasing turn meter by 10%. Okay. Attack all enemies. You can book this to a 3-turn cooldown. Decrease attack. Also, okay, that's kind of cool. AoE decrease attack while also AoE increase attack. I can dig that. Revive all dead allies. Then fill their turn meters by 50%. Also place increased defense and 20 on all allies. Wow, that's pretty cool. It's AoE revive with a lot of HP and half a turn meter, and then also big toughness for the whole team. So yeah, it is a 5-turn cooldown when fully booked, but that's a lot of utility in one ability. Ally speed and Doom Tower battles by 24% and a cool aura. So yeah, A-, B+ again, pretty solid there. Anax, Undead. Okay, one enemy 2 times. Each hit is a decreased defense for 2 turns. Okay, that's cool. One enemy 2 times. Each hit is a 75% chance of placing decreased accuracy. This is a 3-turn cooldown and a poison for 3 turns. Okay, that could be good for like a clan boss or a boss scenario. Placing a weaken. Heals a champion by 50%. Okay, so yeah, a pretty decent, pretty good clan boss kit. You've got poison, decreased defense, weaken, self-sustain, and then we've got a passive here, 60% increased defense on this champion for 2 turns when their HP drops below. So that should happen pretty often. Place a 50% increased attack buff on this champion when their HP drops below, and then an active effect grant an extra turn when this champion's HP drops below 10%. Okay, so cool. I like it. Again, B+, A-, looks like could be a really good option for some of those clan boss teams out there. So okay, I can dig that. Farrakin the Fat. Okay, this guy's parents didn't do him any favors on the name here. That's kind of harsh. But okay, attack one enemy, has a 40% chance of placing a 60% decrease defense buff. That's good. I like that. A1 defense break. One enemy is of placing HP burn and 2 poisons. Okay, so obviously a clan boss candidate here again. Place 30% increased crit rate buff and a 30% increase on all allies except this. Then all allies except this champion will attack one enemy. Wow. And you can get this to a 4-turn cooldown. So it's an ally attack that breaks defense, places HP burn, and multiple poisons. That's pretty cool. Deflects 20% of all incoming damage this champion receives onto all allies. Damage will be spread equally. So a little bit of a damage mitigation if you build him as a glass cannon. So maybe he hits pretty decently hard. Yeah, cool. I like it. Again, a B+, A-. These are all just kind of pretty solid so far. Yeah, I like that. Dahuk the Pierced. Okay, another orc here. Each hit 30% chance of placing a decreased accuracy. Okay. AoE, 3-turn cooldown, decreased attack, also of decreased defense. Okay, so kind of like a Madame Saris ability there, an AoE damage dealer that's going to break defense and attack in the big version on a 3-turn cooldown. Wow, that's pretty good. That is solid. Place a provoke debuff for 1 turn on the target enemy. Also a 75% chance to place a provoke debuff for 1 turn on 2 random enemies. 4-turn cooldown, places 30% reflect damage buff on this champion for 2 turns and an unkillable. So maybe a Fire Knight candidate to help burst through the shield. You've got reflect damage, multi-hit A1, increase ally defense and faction crypts by 31%. That's pretty big. Yeah, again, I mean, that's solid. An AoE attack break and defense break on a 3-turn cooldown. I mean, that ability alone, how can you not give like a B+, A-? That's cool. Yeah, again, pretty solid. And we've got Sanguinia. A Sacred Order. Okay. Attacks one enemy 3 times. 20% chance of decreasing the duration of 2 random buffs on the target by 1 turn. Okay. Cool. I like that. Place a block debuffs on all allies for 1 turn. That's a little bit rough. It's hard to get that tuned right to get value out of when it's only 1 turn. And a 15% I like it. But you like have to have her go last in your rotation. It can be a little bit hard to tune it perfectly and get it to work in your teams. If this were block debuffs on all allies for 2 turns and then heal, it would be but okay, it's all right. 1 enemy, 75% chance of transferring all debuffs from this champion to the target, removes all debuffs from all allies. That's kind of cool. I like that. Increase ally accuracy in Doom Tower battles by 55. Okay, so I can get on board with this. I'm not quite as high on this one. Maybe like a B, but not bad. It'll definitely have some utility and some synergy with some teams. Old Hermit Jorg. Or Yorg. Okay, attack 1 enemy, 30% chance of placing HP burn. Increase attack on all allies. And turn meter fill. Okay. Revive 2 random allies. So in the orcs. Orcs do need some revive options. They've got Shaman, but people aren't too keen on using Shaman typically. Revive, and then turn meter fill. And a pretty decent amount of HP. And then plays a perfect veil on them for 2 turns. Yeah, not bad. Okay, so like a B. We got a decent role in the game with the multiple revive, and it's a pretty good revive too. And some turn meter fill here. So yeah, like a B. Okay. Ugo. Ogre and Tribes. 1 enemy plays the leech. Chance increases by 5 for each alive enemy. So that'll be yeah, okay. Pretty during like dungeon waves and faction wars waves, that'll be a pretty good chance. AoE, 3 turn cooldown when booked. AoE defense break. Also 50% chance of placing a block buffs. Woof. That's pretty good. Chance of placing block. Wow, that's pretty good. A 3 turn cooldown AoE defense break and block buffs for 2 turns. That's pretty good. That's ridiculous for faction wars. Because typically you're gonna go first. You're gonna have enough speed to go first and get that ability off. So you're gonna AoE defense break and then block buffs for 2 turns on a 3 turn cooldown. So you can basically keep that up permanently. Yeah, that's insane. That's a really good A2 here for an epic champion. Removes all hero reduction debuffs from all allies, then removes 1 random debuff from all allies, then heals all allies. Ooh. What stat do they scale with? We don't see here. That is one thing that stinks. You can't see the base stats, but 4 turn cooldown. If all allies are dead, revive them. Interesting. Gosh, I mean, I gotta give this one an A. I mean, geez, that's really good. That AoE defense break with block buffs is just incredible. And the wheels are turning in my head of arena farming. The damn skull crowns that place that unkillable buff on themselves when you kill them. I've lost so many hours of my life farming skull crowns in the arena when they place that damn unkillable, and then you just sit there and beat on them and lower their turn meters. Then you gotta step in and manual because champions won't use the right ability to remove the unkillable buff, and yeah, that has been a nightmare. So I would build this champion just for easy arena farming, to do the AoE defense break and the block buffs for 2 turns, and that's incredible. Gosh, I might have to go A+ just because of that ability. The AoE defense break and the block buffs is insanity. Like that alone makes the champion really good. We've also got a passive here I didn't go over. 30% increased speed and block damage buff on this champion for 1 turn whenever this champion's last living ally is killed. Okay, so you could also build as a super sustain, like if everybody around them dies, they'll get a lot of value here out of being a reviver. You can see there, if all allies are dead, revive them and fill their turn meters, and then give this champion some buffs. Okay, so that will be a little bit tough to get a bunch of value out of consistently, but it's kind of cool that it's there. I'm just excited about the A2. The AoE defense break and the AoE block buffs on a 3 turn cooldown, and it also does damage. Now the unfortunate thing is it's magic, so it can hit weak against red opponents. So it's not going to be as perfect as it would be with like a void champion or something, but still amazing. I would gotta give this one an A. I love that ability there. And then here at the bottom, we've got daily login rewards expansion. This will be the last addition to the daily login rewards, but fear not, it doesn't mean you'll no longer get anything. Instead, the final tier will reset and repeat after you have claimed the final reward. So we've been asking for a rotation of permanent daily login rewards that reset like every month or something, or every 30 days that you log in, it resets and you start over. Just a reward for being active on the game. So at least they're finally listening and implementing that to the game here. Then miscellaneous, more slots for you. We've gone over some of this stuff, but yeah, the champion collection, the main area, will go up from 200 to 300, and then both for artifacts and accessories will go from 700 to 1,000. Now this right here says artifact storage will go from 700 to 1,000, which is a little concerning because I could have swore it was also accessories. I wish it would say artifact and accessory storage will go from 700 to 1,000. So like maybe just to be safe, I'll get clarification on that, but I do believe they're both going from 700 to 1,000. They just wrote it weird, I think. Clan boss battles will always start in manual rather than auto. So a little side rant, I wish this was an option to tick for players, like in settings or something. I wish you could choose if you want dungeon battles, arena battles, and clan boss battles to start on auto or manual, because I know a lot of people when they're farming in the arena wish that the battles would just start on auto. And some people just wish their clan boss battles would start on auto. They're fine with that. So I wish this was an option that players could customize it to their liking. But anyway, the clan boss battles are going to start in manual. This will be handy for those teams like Unkillable comps and stuff where you want to set up like a very specific rotation. So you want to step in and manual it for a while. You won't have to worry about like sitting here ready to click the auto button right when the clan boss starts. You'll be able to just relax and do your thing and then hit auto. So that'll be a good change for a lot of people. Just my little mini rant was that I wish they would let players choose their course of action there in settings or whatever. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. I'm gonna head on over to stream. If you want to stop by and hang out, if you're watching this video right when it came out, I am gonna be over on stream where we can hang out and just play some raid and talk about all these champions and talk about what's going on in the raid community. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.